Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Build live from Oak Hill Works. How are we all doing? I hope you are well. We have returned after a week off where I was not very well at all. It has not been a fun week. My advice is don't get ill. Good for chassis scissors. It's no good. You always need more projects. Always need more. And the 14XX I've got in the shop has never even been out the box. It'd be like a brand new chassis. So yeah, we return to South Park Quarry, where there's some buildings that need a little bit more work on them because they're A, not finished, and B, a bit too clean. So I have been making up some washes for weathering them, amongst many other things. It's been so long since we've been sat here, I can't remember what was the whole layout covered in ballast the last time we were here, because it is now. And good evening, Alexander. How are you? I hope you are well. And good evening, Forgotten Pit Road. How are you? I hope you are well. So yeah, so the plan tonight is to get the buildings in some state of looking good, possibly get them stuck down. Just going to put a quick reminder out there for this, for everyone who hasn't been looking at chat. It is indeed the Uckfield show next weekend. I will still be here afterwards. I will be completely knackered. And I will have a special guest co-presenter. I'm not going to name them. I'm sure a lot of you know who it is. Not too bad. Hope all are well here. Excellent. Glad to hear you are not too bad. I am indeed very well. There we go. Linny has indeed outed themselves as my co-presenter for next week. And good evening, Jacob. How are you? I hope you are well. So yeah, we lot new names appearing, which is great. People who may know this layout but haven't actually seen it before. So yes. Oh, I also, whilst I was playing with things like ballasting, sorted out all our point motors. They all fire properly now. I ended up gunking a few of them up with glue. So they've all been removed, they've all been sorted, they've all gone back on. Everything fires first time. No more of me having to hit everything 3 or 4 times in a row. Which is always good. Very well, I was at Blue Bay yesterday. And today, took my little clam line to meet the big one. Also bought another terrier number 2635 from Atlantic House. Excellent. I have already seen your Instagram post with all your pictures. It was very nice. Looked like a great event. Shame I couldn't be there, but you know, saving up for the Uckfield show next week. Looking forward to seeing it in person, and it's looking forward to seeing you in person, Lenny. Still going to Bluebell Monday after Uckfield. Yes, that is still the plan, and you are still welcome to tag along. So yeah, right. Work on the layout. Buildings. First thing that needs doing, these tiles need painting. And after research carried out by my wonderful moderating team and viewers, we're going with slate grey for the tiles, Humbrol Matte 31. Looks like there should be an SCR01 running on Monday too. Yes, indeed it does. So let me know where to be and at what time. I will quite happily come and pick you up from Polegate Station. As for times, we haven't discussed those yet. Oh, better late than never. Good evening, Paderborn. How are you? I hope you are well. Still more, Mr. Cruiser. I'll be posting Schools picks and Bluebell's Home Fleet picks. Excellent. I look forward to seeing those. Preferably not super early. But again, I like to be knackered. Well, yes, that is true. It is going to be a bit of a knackering time. But I'm going to be driving. You can, like, sleep in the van and stuff. 100% delicious, nutritious slate. Yes, indeed. You're fine. Excellent. Glad to hear it. Let's see you are better this week. I am indeed. Last week was not fun. In fact, the whole of the last week has not really been fun. So Wednesday was the worst day. When I came over all dizzy. So dizzy I could barely stand up. Had to have time off work and everything. Those who follow the shop's social media will see that that the shop was actually closed. Because I couldn't be there. Not super early is good for me. Excellent. Glad to hear it. That Hornby Pecket, it is indeed a certain Hornby Pecket. Yes. Doesn't it look good? A very generous gift that I received. And this layout is designed around having a Pecket. Because it's such a fantastic loco. So, shed for Pecket. Because again, everything on here is designed around, well, a Pecket and a Terrier. Certainly does look good. Why, thank you very much. So yes, this is our sandstone quarry. South Park Quarry, operated by a Pecket. All the woodwork on the shed is painted in blue, just like the Pecket. At least it's not a Terrier. I've got 15 of those now, Sophia. Are you telling me that's too many? Because I don't think it's enough. I think I still need more. No, that's not the stirry stick I want. Look better in a deep green or teal, but that's personal taste. No, it looks brilliant in the livery it's in. The livery was chosen by my Discord. Very helpful people there in helping me decide what I wanted to do with it. I was originally going to keep it in the livery it came to me in, but unfortunately it started coming off with handling, so I couldn't keep it because there was no way I could have redone the lining and stuff that was on it as well as it was. You can never have enough terriers. Exactly, Alexander. Exactly. Stradley had 50 of them, and I plan to as well. Have all the terriers for both for the both of us. But what about 751 in Wainwright, or even 751 in Chatham Wartime Grey. Surely you want that one. I forgot to turn my phone on silent. Ever the professional me, aren't I? Now it's on silent. Yeah, that is the paintbrush I want. Didn't Hayden Island have a small 240 that looked a bit like a terrier? I mean, it looked like a terrier in as much as everything Stroudley did kind of looks the same because of standardisation. But yes, it did have a 240. And good evening, Killian. How are you? I hope you are well. I just need to do a thing quickly. Hang on. They've had out trying to get the printer to work properly, otherwise quite good. Well, I'm sorry to hear the printer has been a bit rubbish. I hope that it works well for you. Oh, showing stuff off on the modelling showcase, are we? I will look forward to seeing that. Heron Island did have terriers in the modern era. I've spent too much time pre-grouping section of RM Web lately. There is no such thing as too much time in the pre-grouping section of RM Web. I mean, I don't spend as much time on there as I used to, but that's not the point. Most of the people there are very nice, especially compared to the rest of RM Web. In terms of spending time on RM Web, well, yes, there is that. I have to see what they have for NER stuff. NER stuff, nah. Too far up the country. At least it's on the right side though. Blame yours and Linny's threads. Excellent. I approve of blaming my threads. Especially now that I've made some actual proper posts on it recently. Unlike how it's looked for the last couple of years. Which one? That's not the one. This doesn't look stirred enough yet. I was October have to be such a good month. Double O. Bought me a beachy head from Milton Keynes last Sunday. Terrier yesterday, and hopefully a D1 next week. Excellent. I approve of all those purchases. NER stands for not enough routers. Yes, yes, Killian. Never enough routers. Yeah. Also, never enough routers for that matter. See, they both work. Don't need a Terrier out of a homebrew LCDRT class to finish. You still need a Terrier as well. No layout can be complete without a Terrier. Well, a Terrier is an early birthday present from Matt. I'm turning 19 on Friday. Well, happy birthday for Friday. I hope you have a good birthday, and I approve of having terriers as birthday presents. Keep liking in Pug Bash. It's a good Fred, the Pug Bash Fred, isn't it? Easily one of my favourite Freds on there. Yeah, I always want to do more Pug Bashes, but I never have the time. Stars Bar and Corbs will always be good. Well, yeah, indeed it was, yes. Corbs's main Fred is one of the is the first Fred I ever followed on RMWeb. We should have enough go at my Open Cab Wainwright C to 044T Bash. Yes, you should. Definitely. If you're not picky about what you use, you know I now have I essentially have a spare GBL C-Class body. Since I have a Bachmann one now. Haley Island branch, 2 shops, 2 forays, one of them 499 Haley Islands, rebuilt. As inspector, see prototype discussion, 4th the 8th, 21. Excellent, thank you, Paderborn. Always good to get references and facts in. People doing simple start set logo is incredible. That it is. I wonder if a 00R1 might be a better place to start on it. See, I don't have a spare one of those because I like those. R1s are an excellent place to start. Well, you would say that, wouldn't you? How many projects do you have that aren't R1s? Can't be much more than that T-class, can it? Trying O60 saddle tank. Looks like a fun subject to rebuild. It would be great if it wasn't so far off its original prototype, because that saddle tank is based on the Southeastern Chatham S class, which is a rebuilt C class. So it'd be fantastic if it was closer to its prototype. I have spare ones. I like cutting them up. Someone say tea. Right, must get kettle on. Good idea. Hydration is important. GPLC class 4. Is it an S or a Lanky? It's an S. It even carried the S's number. Nelly on a Backman Junior chassis. Yeah, that's a good one. I'll remember that one. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are well. Good evening, Heritage Railway Productions. I am very well, thank you. How are you? Someone will one body shell £7.50 on eBay. I got free. Do it, Lily. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. I would say I need a couple to copy Sophia's Q1, but I don't need any more projects at the moment. Is anyone saying that upfield first? Good idea. Good idea. Save that money for upfield. Had another earache all week. It's cleared up a bit over the last couple of days. Also went to Giant Steam today. Bought new rolling stock. Well, I'm sorry to hear you've had an earache. They suck massively. Good to hear is clearing up though. Don't want to go to Capto though or Boldry Firebox. Well, that's what cutting them up's for, Linny. Try Nelly also seems to be useful subjects in space of 5 minutes. I've seen 240, 042, and 060 conversion. Yeah, there is a lot of Nelly conversions out there. My boy has a Nelly conversion to do at some point. I bought him all the stuff to do it. It's just he hasn't done it yet. Copy me, that's dangerous territory. You've done such a good job, it needs to be done. That's all there is to it. There we go, we have half a slate roof. Certainly looks better than the roof that's sprayed in primer and then half sprayed in the sandstone colour from the walls. Watched Signal earlier this evening with Becca and some other friends. Turns out Signal was played by Marcus Brody. I would love to say I know who that is, but I don't. Latest Q1 is neither a Pagoda cab or a bulgy firebox. See, I love the Pagoda cabs. I know there's people out there that don't agree with me, but I love them. Talking about two R1 body shells, £14 and free shipping. I mean, that's not bad. Guy from Indiana Jones gets lost in the music. Ah. See, I do know people, I just don't know their names. It's easier that way. Did I? I did. Love the Q1. I love it, the Q1 never had it though. Yeah, fair enough. But it did come in as a handy excuse on your first one as to why it got saved. And there's the bot advertising my Twitter account, which means I've missed it saying like, comment, subscribe and all that wonderful jazz and forgotten to repeat it to you lot. So, you know, do remember to like, comment, subscribe and all that jazz. We're getting very close to legitimately hitting the 500 mark now. Oh no, I went a bit wrong on that and went over the blue. That's fine, I can sort it out. Let's see how... Oh, I was going to say, let's see how much... Oh no, there it is. I put it away. How strange of me. There we go. So you say a GBC class is no longer required. Yeah, I do. My conversion, so complete with Airfix 4F chassis, because I got myself a Bachmann one, so I don't need my cheapo conversion anymore. It can indeed make its way to the shop before you ask. Slowly, slowly getting there. And when I say slowly, slowly, I mean this paint looks like it's separating again. Let me stir it. What livery did you put it in? I didn't put it in any livery. It is in the Wainwright livery that it came in. Pretty sure it features on page 1 of my thread on RMWeb. Shout out on Instagram. I shall shout you out on my Instagram account for you, Gary. Hashtag 500 subs. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. I would love to get to that 500 subs and my book giveaway. It's slowly growing. We were at 574. When I looked earlier. Yes, 26 away. Excellent. See, I do remember things occasionally. I'll be honest, I don't often monitor things like my subscriber numbers or how many viewers I get and how many likes I get. In fact, I genuinely do not know how many likes I have got on any video or live stream that's gone out this year. All the likes and stuff are very much appreciated. It's just my mental health says, do not look at these things. Every like helps the channel. Because a high ratio of views and interactions and stuff does wonders for what YouTube thinks of you. They're all real too because my 25 mates have been pretty lazy lately. You say that, but I thought you had a lot of your other accounts subscribed in my early days. Oh, how are you doing? Good evening, Jack Miniature Trains. I am doing very well. How are you? You join us just as we finish putting the slate colour on the roof of the shed. Which has definitely not been a really long and boring job. Not at all. I mean, at least we're not watching it dry. There we go. One grey roof. If you had said wartime grey, it might have tipped me into lazy pre-grouping territory. No, see, I don't have anything in wartime grey at the minute. My N class is going to get there eventually, but for now I don't have anything in wartime grey. One of my P classes might get wartime grey as well, because I've got 4 of those. The subject they're not continuously liking. Fair enough. Probably for the best. Watching paint dry, the most fun thing you can ever do, isn't it just? And how are you this evening? I mean, like, if I put it here whilst we do other stuff, then you can sit and watch it dry. I don't mind. Doing great. You? I am doing fantastic. It is so good to be back in the workshop. with the cameras rolling. I'm doing so well that I spared you all the horror of what I was doing on this layout the other day. The new Q1 might go wartime, right? Yeah, I was going to comment something like "do it, do it, do it" to your "don't paint it wartime grey, don't paint it wartime grey, don't paint it wartime grey," but I was busy setting up in here, so I just liked instead. I mean, the answer is, Sophie, if you don't want to do it in wartime grey, but you also do want to do it in wartime grey, just make another one. And then you can have one that is wartime grey and one that isn't. See? I'm a genius. Hydration is important. But yeah, so no, I saved you all from what happened on this the other day. Because it had a 153 and a 56 running on it the other day. Good evening, hope modelling is going well. Good evening, modelling is going very well. How are you? I hope you are well. So, coal stage that is way too clean. Give this some more of a shake, because the washes always need shakes. They'll need more R1 bodies. And is that a problem, really? Are you telling me you're not going to, at some point, buy more R1 bodies regardless? So yeah, what we have here is some black wash that I have made. Part of my homemade washes collection. I've got quite a few of them, you'll see. All made with Humbrol enamel thinners and the paints that I have anyway. So Q1, do you mean Bully Q1 or Sterling Wainwright Q1? She means Sterling Sterling Q1, yes. He needs them first. There's plenty going round. So yeah, so my washes are just enamel thinners and enamel paints. My black one is quite thick. I know where my cloth is, that's okay. Because it's coal and smoke and everything would just be absolutely filthy around it. So you can see there, whilst we got completely black on the top, on the front we now have lots of black, but you've still got the colour of the stonework showing through, which is what I was after. Not too bad, trying to talk myself into getting a Roxy Molding single push-pull LBSCR coach, but I haven't built brass models before. I've got the 1909 push-pull from Roxy. It's a wonderful model. I have done a brass coach. I've done at least one brass coach on the live stream in the past. The SECR Invalid Saloon. So if you want some tips, go back, watch those live streams. I will be doing some more in the future because I bought myself some more. Let me get some more coal dust and black wash on this. fact, no. Look, we'll leave that a second, and I will show you all what we will have coming up in the future, because I know at least some of you will be quite interested in these kits. So these set me back an appropriate amount of money. But what we have is a Mallard Models Southeastern and Chatham birdcage rake, which is significantly shorter coaches than the Bachmann ones. So there are some more brass coach kits to be done on the live stream at some point. Well, look, there's a poster for an exhibition there. It's coming up soon. You should definitely go. Exclamation mark Uckfield show in the chat, I think. Look at me not knowing my own commands. But the bot wants to remind you, hydration is important. Nor SSCR is always good. I knew you'd approve. Yeah, I knew you'd approve. So as I'm doing this, I'm realising that we forgot to paint the fire bucket thing red. I'm thinking, well, that'll have to wait now. But you look now, my steps, which looked kind of weird with their black down the middle of them, now look quite good with the wash on them. Good evening, Rob. I am well. How are you? Bot goes beep. Bot does go beep. You are quite right. Marvelous, thanks, Master Gary. Good to hear you are well, sir. I am indeed, and yes, your brake van is currently adorning the plans for my new layout, and it looks very good there. Definitely need some more of your stock to go with it at some point, though. I think we fixed the bright blueness on the coal stage anyway. And we've got a pretty decent base for what we will, for how it will finally look. Because obviously it's not complete. I was going to start with Modelling Network Southeast. I know. I'm so glad you got cured of that one. Really, do you need any other stuff? What are you looking at? I would. I need a few horse boxes for definite. General wagons for this layout would be good as well. This layout, my micro layout for shunting, would love some general wagons of all sorts. But yeah, my big layout needs some horse boxes. Well, we need to discuss prices and stuff, Rob. Be much better than the IKEA blue. It is, isn't it? And it's drying reasonably quickly, so we can have a proper look at it quite quickly as well. And so it does just look very, very dirty now. Well, I'm not sure how well the blue is obviously very, very different, but it's even more different here in front of me. It's not, I mean, even this is quite different. It's not nearly as bright in front of me as it is. In fact, this blue here in the middle is quite close to how this looks in real life. And then this lot in the middle isn't far off what this is at the edge. It's not quite that black, but not far off. Don't have any horse boxes, mortal shocking, I know. We'll have the LBSC cattle wagon. I'm hoping to be at the Outfield show possibly next Sunday, so hopefully a bump into you. Yeah, I meant cattle wagons. That is actually what I meant, was cattle wagons, and I was picturing them in my head. I don't know why I said horse boxes. I will definitely be at the Uckfield show next weekend. So the advice is literally ask any club member and they will be able to find where I am. I will be there both days for the whole show. So whenever you're there, make sure you ask after me. And you know, just to get in there again, everyone, Uckfield show next weekend. Yeah, on Sunday, I'm going to be there on the Saturday. See, this is what you get, Linny, for going off and doing other things. You should have carried on being at the show both days. So now we've got our water tower that needs weathering. It doesn't necessarily need to be quite as black and coal dusty though, which is where the other colours come in. We're going to start with a lightish wash. It's not a huge amount, different to the colour of the brickwork. I'm afraid somehow I had an even better offer than a second day at the show. I don't believe that's possible. Sorry. And even knowing what your other offer is, I'm no. Uckfield show trumps it all. Always give these homemade washes a good shake, because they do separate quite fast. Okay, so this is a very, very subtle difference on the colour that we've already got. But my plan here is to sort of having it fading with lighter colours at the top going down to darker colours, and then some streaks in the corners and stuff, so we get it looking like it's got damp and stuff. Look at me putting thought into weathering. I genuinely never thought I would do that. Pretty sure down for the Steam locate. It's a very good offer. And I'll still be going the outfield show. Nah. Nah. Footplay beat Charles. Nah, you're all wrong. You're all wrong. Shane, you can't make Saudi, but let me know if you want anything. I'll print some stuff for you. Appreciate you. Help you kindly gave me. So if you do want to get anything to Linny, I can happily collect it and pass it on. As Linny's Sunday won't be a total waste, because next Sunday Linny will be appearing live from Oak Hill Works. I really wanted to do like the intro minus the hello everybody there, but thought better of it. Because after all, that hello everybody is what makes the intro, isn't it? The rest of the intro is kind of pointless. Fantastic. Cheers, Garrett. Please do. Yeah, I do enjoy the Linny spam. So I get to do it next week, like last time I was there. Do you want me to do it in Welsh? You definitely get to do it. I mean, if I'm having guests on the show, I always want them to do it. And if you want to do it in Welsh, you are welcome to do it in Welsh. As long as you put the right level of enthusiasm and energy into it. So now that we're nearly an hour in, I've been meaning to ask. I have acquired myself a new laptop calling thing, and it's got 6 times as many fans as the old one. So is there like a low hum in the background or anything? Or is the noise filter still working on it despite its loudness? Because I assure you, it's blooming loud. So Oak Hill becomes Quarry for the evening. No, and it's South Park Quarry, not Oak Hill. Oak Hill's the big layout. Hydration is important. Now, the plan for next week is that we shall play with the layout a bit. So if Linny happens to bring a load of stock along to play Slate Quarry, then who knows? That's down to Linny. So you can see on there now, I can see on the screen where it's the darker to the lighter. And it does look like a building that's been attacked by damp, which is what I was after. Linny might have trouble doing that with the size of their suitcase. Fair. Do that and still posted the wrong thing. It happens. I'm actually really happy with how that's looking. No, hi everyone, first time I've caught your stream, I feel building is looking good. Good evening, Mark, welcome, thank you very much. How are you? I hope you are well. Yes, you join us with any luck finishing all the buildings for this layout tonight. So we've got the engine shed that we have painted the roof on and are letting dry before we do any weathering. The coal stage that has taken a blackening because coal. And the water tower that's now looking rather damp. I'm rather worried that my darker shade I was going to do on it is going to be too dark now, actually. It might stay as it is. It's like a completely different building with that effect. I hope it is. I'm really happy with how that's gone. I mean, it's obviously still too clean, but I'm really happy with it. And I want to do the same. So you spot on here, there are some patches here on the pillars especially that already look a bit like damp, which is where I was taking the idea for that from. But I do want to add to those on here. So I think we'll get the same colour out again and do a bit of that. But with a finer brush. When in doubt, add moss and greenery. Way ahead of you. I've been spending loads of money on this layout this week. By this week, I mean yesterday. So I'd like some damp caught in these edges, for example. And round on the corners especially, where it would pull. And I figure if I only do it on one side, so doing it down here but not down here, it looks like the water and the rain comes at it from an angle. At least that's the theory. I'm sure to have a look at the website. Oh yes, the bot advertising the website. Thank you, bot. I need to update that website at some point. In fact, I need to update that website before next weekend. Because, you know, me being the professional modeler that I am now, have an advert in the show programme this year. Oh, I know, scary stuff. Doctors bury their mistakes, architects cover them fines. Good evening, Andy. How are you? I hope you are well. This professional modeler thing still feels a bit weird to me, for those that hadn't figured. So I'm all along the bottom, so we've got some damp attack as well. But not as bad as the water tower, only along the bottom course or so. this damp hasn't risen as far because of how the walls are built, I decided. Of course, the good thing about weathering is you can't do it wrong. Because if you think you've done it wrong, you can just, like, do it again. Quite simply. And just here at the joins in the gutters, I want some coming down. And running round the brickwork. Because the gutters had a leak. Doesn't need to be on both sides, but definitely needs to be on that one. Yes, well, thanks. I'm sure to wave out the window when I fly over you tomorrow for a work trip in Italy. Well, I hope you have fun. I will make sure to wave back as you go over. It's the polite thing to do. Let's move that out of the way. Get our damp along here. Now, the back of the shed will have more damp than the front. At the side, even. Because we have our tree here collecting water in it. So we want some damp over most of this side. Just like that. Very subtle, but it's looking much more worn down. Back on this side, actually, we want to do the window sills. And to have some marks down the side of those. Not huge marks though. But there we go. She's a building that's been battered by the weather. I'm actually very happy with how that's looking right now. I think I'm going to leave that there. I don't want to touch the roof too much, it's still tacky. And put a bit coming down the corner here at the front. And that is that for the damp on that building. Is that a kit or a scrap build? It is the ratio engine shed. It has been cut down. It's usually 4 bays along the side. We cut a bay out of this one, which shows up much more on camera than it does in real life, amazingly. The cut line is down here, runs behind these bricks, down the inside of this wall and down the bottom here. Because 4 bays would not fit in the space I wanted. Whereas 3 bays does, and because it's supposed to house a packet, it doesn't need to be huge. Now what this really needs is these louvers doing in black, like the whole stage. I can English, but I'm not doing that until the roof's more dry. It's still slightly tacky. But it also needs it up the front here. But first, I'm going to refill the hydration vessel. Thanks, nice looking shed. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. There's my big brush. And remember everyone, hydration is important. So again, back to the black. Which covers over the front of the shed with dirty smoke marks. We're using a very small amount of the black because we don't want it hugely dark. But dark enough to see that it runs the locos in and out a lot. And these marks never go away. They still have smoke marks like that on the bridge down the road from me. The best part of 60 years after the line was lifted. Yeah, that is not perfect at the moment. It's not as dark as it looks on screen. You can still see the colour of everything through it quite nicely in reality. No, it's not yet perfect, but it's how it wants to be for now. So the whole yard is looking slightly better. There's obviously still more to do, but it's also, you need to see it in place to know what you're doing. So, for example, down here is going to want some black from the coal dust. Probably want a bit of that over here as well. But without seeing it in place, you don't know exactly what you want and where, if that makes sense. Soot marks along the old Hartfield Line Bridge, etc. Quite eerie with green moss contrasting sooty brickwork of the old bridges. Yeah, yeah, it's strange. Like it's looking at the ghosts of engines past. And obviously with the door in place, the door's going to want some marks from the coal on it as well. Again, not something you can see properly. Because, of course, you do know these things roughly anyway, but you can't really see exactly how you want them without them in place. We're going to need to get the rust out at some point as well and rust some stuff up. Because the guttering and stuff, for example, would have got rusty. Oh, look, there is the bot begging for money on Patreon. Good bot, keep it up. And our old bits that lie up against this side here will all want to be pretty heavily weathered. Again, they've just been sat there. The old bits of gutter will have gone rusty. Coal and soot and all sorts will have got on the doors that are there. So there's plenty to do still. But it's looking better all the time. Where if I put that, there's that brush. That's okay then. So we're going to take this back first and we're going to start by just doing some black down in this corner. Bits of coal dust and such from messy people. And of course, once all the paint and stuff is on there for this, things like coal dust I do have and can add at a later date to make it that bit more realistic. Bye tree. That tree is on the floor now. So we've just got a bit there. From the fireman being a bit messy. Over years and years and years and years. And we'll want to do something similar on the door. Up to about that height on that door, a bit higher there, especially around the lock and such, and we'll just paint some in on the back as well, just so it doesn't feel left out. The doors still need a lot more work, but I'd like to at least get them in a position that they can be stuck on to the shed. So just getting that bit round the bottom there done. Makes it look a lot better, I think. That one can stay as is for now. I don't know how well it shows, but no, it doesn't seem to show at all. It's got quite a lot of wear around here where I did the paint slightly thinner at the edges, and it looks quite good as is. That's just my opinion. Others are available. And then this door is one of the bits that sits down the side of the water tower. As I say, I want those bits there to be quite filthy. That's going to sit that way up. So I want to run my brush strokes this way, as if the rain has got to it. When you see brush strokes in it, they'll be in the right direction, like rain has run down it. I know what I'm trying to say. Hopefully at least one of you does. Right, get the lid back on that and get the brush cleaned again. So we are approaching 10:30. We're almost at the halfway point of the live stream. Andrew, a good point for me to ask, what is everyone else up to this evening? What projects have we got on the go? Obviously missed this question last week, so we've got 2 weeks worth of projects you can tell me about. I do enjoy hearing about them, so please do let me know. Remember, hydration is important. Alice Snoobut's My Youth Drive and Traveller's Guide to this world, written away. Yeah, that's what it's called. Excellent. Excellent indeed. No, you're not the colour I want. I mean, you're a very dirty colour, but you're not the one I want. Where's it gone? Miss Bradshaw's Guide, indeed. I'm currently playing around with Arduinos and servos, trying to get my code to talk to a 16-channel servo driver board. Fun times. Yeah, where has my top that I wanted gone? That's irritating. I had a pot of Rail Match Dark Rust. I cannot find it. We will have to go with Light Rust instead. Yeah, it doesn't use the Arduino's built-in servo code. Yeah, there are times that I miss being the sort of person who does code all the time. I get over those moments of insanity very quickly. Drinking tea out my LBSC mug and watching a stream last week and this week looking for pictures of 2026 D1 model. Yep, fair enough. Although we all know the only LBSC related mug you should have is one with a terrier on it. And the name of a wonderful YouTube channel, !merch in the chat. I'm going to rewrite my Arduino code to work with JMRI. Excellent. JMRI is a good bit of software. I like JMRI, mainly because someone else wrote it. My fatigue, memory trouble, and general confusion these days, coding is much harder than I remember. Yeah, I can imagine it is. Just put up a new shelf, then realised I filled it already to the point that I need to add at least another shelf. Well, in that case, Andy, get adding shelves. First I went from on a GR wagon or crack on with some GR 6-wheel carriages to go behind my GR buck jumper. Can't quite decide what to model. Oh, I'll go with the carriages. 6-wheel carriages is always the right answer. Lately been getting the Triumph former cleisters to a better buffer height. Now debating to get more paint into SECR livery. Yes, I saw your carriages. They're looking good. They're really nice. Definitely need to put them in SCR livery. Not a problem, Rob. Not a problem. 6-wheel carriages is always the answer. Right. Let's see how dead this paint is. Do I need more thinner in it? See, the problem with these rail match weathering paints I've got, no one's quite sure how old they are. What I can tell you is they're not new. I mean, the good news is the paint isn't completely solid, so it's slightly less work bringing them back to an acceptable level of life. Slinny has always proven the Hornby cleisters can be made into lovely models. They can indeed. Browsing Hassans for a Q6, they are on sale. Well, in that case, you must buy one. Finished the R4-wheeler carriages and printed out one in 7mm. Looking forward to trying out some teaching soon. Excellent. I always claim I'm looking forward to trying out some teaking, but the fact I haven't done it yet probably proves that I'm not. Although if I can get if I get some D&S 4-wheelers, they'll have to go in teak. The LCDR ones. Roof's very rough. So I was thinking, very thin layer of plastic card to cover them, plus need to look into getting vents. Yes, thin layer of plastic card is a good idea. In fact, I know a great shop that will sell you some. Got a website for the shop now, you know. And plastic card's on it, but I wouldn't recommend paying the postage for a sheet of plastic card. Still waiting for Batman's 009 Huntslays. They're coming eventually. There we go. That's a usable, much lighter rust than I wanted to use. Mike Trice's Iron Web thread on Tekin is very good and worth a gander if you do fancy out Tekin. Yes, I have read his thread on that. It is fantastic. It doesn't help me feel any braver though. Add it to the list of things to buy when I pop into the shop. Good idea. Well, I put my blue tack. There's my blue tack. So, I wanted these in a dark rust. I don't have it. Well, I do have it. I just can't find it. So my plan is we'll paint them with the light rust. And then once that's dry, we'll chuck some black wash over them. And I'm going to try and not get complete coverage on these as well, so there's still black showing through. And that it's not, and I don't want an even finish either. Because rust shouldn't be uniform, really. Creation test 6-wheelers yesterday, though I haven't yet to actually do any test prints. Well, you must do test prints. Try that teak effect on some railroad LNER coaches. Yes, yes, you must. Tell you what, that doesn't look as bad as I was expecting as it dries. It's getting darker, which is nice. Yes, I'm happy with that colour. Much happier than I was when I looked at the pot. Also need some pre-grouping coaches from other railways for hot pickers trains. You do. There's some pictures of some hot pickers trains in the pre-grouping section on RM Web. No, I don't know what you mean about encouraging you to go to the pre-grouping section on RM Web. I hear Hornby makes some nice four-wheelers, some nice Brighton four-wheelers you could use. Some guy did a review on it and a live stream on like making them pretty. Well, more Brighton anyway. Eventually he's going to do a video, or so I hear. Eventually. Yes, that rust looks quite good. I'm happy with that. I'm not sure where I'm going to rust the gutters, but I want a couple of spots of rust. This needs picking out in black as well. Okay, I should probably try out those LSWR6 wheelers on the printer then. You should, Rob. You definitely should. Yeah, this is the brush I want for this. Oh. Oh, yummy. There's none on the outside of the pot, but it's now all over my hands. I'm going to wait for the Haddon's four-wheel coaches. They look better quality for the price. Well, depends what you're after. Because the Hornby four-wheelers are not generic coaches, like Hornby claim they are. The Hatton's ones are generic coaches. They're two totally different products. The Hornby ones are LBSC Stroudley four-wheelers. Again, see my review. I'm super proud of that review video, by the way. I went to so much effort to get everything right and all the appropriate permissions from the correct copyright holders for things. Really enjoyed making it and put way too much time into research. Very miserable Northerners to Oasis, that is the Garden of England. Well, they won't be miserable once they get to the Garden of England, will they? What's your review going? It's cracking, dude. Thank you very much, Rob. So I am so proud of it. I'd love to do some more videos of that quality, but at the same time, I don't want to be a reviewer. So it's kind of an awkward one. But the point had to be made that they weren't generic carriages. Aston's ones and Hornby ones do look nice, but I may end up mixing and matching 4 and 6 wheel coaches. As you should. That sounds like a good plan. Sam's trains for reviews, and that. Oh no, I wouldn't trust his reviews. Been looking longingly at Linny's lovely creations on their RM web thread. There's fantastic stuff in there, isn't there? To have him for questionable content, yeah. Paid for reviews are ads, not reviews. Exactly, Killian. Exactly. If I want to watch a review of something, I will find it on a small channel where someone has spent their own money to get a model and made a review out of passion. But I'm not really one for watching reviews, so it's kind of a moot point. So, speaking of question of viewing, I have the Inside Hornby series starting tomorrow on yesterday. Indeed it is. I am going to check that out as long as I remember. I'm hoping at the very least it's interesting. We shall see. There we go. The ironwork has all become black. It sounds strange, the naughtiest, although I wasn't going to miss it as it's club night on Monday. I mean, in theory, provided I remember to ring my mum and get her to babysit, I will be at club when it's actually on tomorrow. But that's what catch-up's for. To be honest, Hatton's four-wheelers would suit my uses better as brake coaches of end windows could work as part of push-pull set. Either that or the Roxy Mouldings coach. Yep, fair enough. No, the Hornby ones are Stroudley coaches. They only work if you want Stroudley four-wheelers. They don't work otherwise. Mine are all in the other room, so I can't show you. There's no ironwork to paint. Oh, there is a bit of ironwork to paint on this one. I suppose I should pick out that lock in actual black as well. Oh, and there's a big plate for the lock on the front of this one, isn't there? I'm not going to get that with what I'm dabbing off the sides here. There we go. That's all the bits of that need to be black. It's time machine, so I go back and buy all of Linny's kits in multiple. Oh yes, don't we all? Peggy having a brake van special. As I doubt the Quarry owns any coaches. The Quarry might own a coach. Certainly no more than that. But yeah, I mean, the workers have to get there somehow, so the Quarry might own a coach. Would there be workman's trains and SPQ? I got the right one this time. That's what I'm thinking, is that it'll have a coach or two for workman's trains, but that would be the very most that it has. In fact, like if we put this here, I've got some coaches next to me a second. Hang on. Oh, I'm sure you'll all approve of these. Oh well, look, I've got. Oh no, that's not one coach. There we go. Workman's train. How's that? Hydration is important. Oh, I knew you'd like them. Workman's train 50 years into the future. For those that are worried, you'll be glad to know these are due chopping up. Knock up some ducats, make one a brake coach. No, they're all going to get chopped up. But I've got a body of one here that's already lost its chassis. There's a fourth one somewhere, but I don't know where right now. I mean, in theory, it's the same place as those three were, but I'm not actually looking for it to carry on the joke. Yeah, I'm actually quite happy with how those rusty gutters have come out. Donate chassis to worthy cause, as we've seen. It's not that one that donated its chassis, but it's probably gone to something similar. Don't you just love those safe places? Must be really safe as stuff vanishes. Oh no, no. I never said they were somewhere safe. It was somewhere safe. I said it's somewhere. I don't worry about keeping them safe. 5 those little coach and SR olive green. Is that too many? Yes. The old four-wheelers of the Borg, they have no individual identity. Fair enough. I have 4 in that livery that came from the shop reasonably recently. So I could use them as donors for a project. The plan is to do one of them off stream and one of them on stream so you can see it. It's not necessarily an anytime soon project though, because we have so many projects to do. I mean, at some point in the not too distant future, I want to fit a DCC chip and some couplings to this so it can shunt on the layout. Because why wouldn't I want this shunting on the layout? That'd be a much more fun project than working on old Hornby four-wheelers. Right. I think I'm going to stick these doors. I say I think I am. Because I can't see my glue. Like, anywhere. So long list of Waco's wagons. I want long lists to the best lists. Seriously, what did I do with the glue? There it is. I found it. Long lists are expensive lists. Well, that's also true. But they mean you get lots of nice things. And, you know, nice things are good things. You did cart of couple of St Trinity school in it. No. Some of us have not seen St Trinian's and have no intention of either. Right, so gluing on the doors. Blob of glue. Run some up the inside. Apply door. Working in a J50 or so, shall I also on SR school class number 940 St Trinian's. Teachers were in the Wickham. 060 with an identity crisis. First door's on. Oh, also, I don't currently have or intend to get a Wickham trolley. Like, if one comes up super cheap, then yeah, fair enough, I'll get it. But there are currently no plans. Or the second. No more blue tack for the doors. Yay! Isn't it good? We're slowly getting the layout where I want it. Though all my trees have fallen over now. Plus a bumper filled with roses. There is a possibility that somewhere buried behind many things and under many things, I have a kit for a thumper. Not the one that Bachman made, obviously. One of the other ones. But you didn't hear that because you wouldn't want, because, you know, I wouldn't dare own such a thing. There we go. Shed in place, doors on it. Loco sat underneath, pumping soot and stuff out onto the front of the building. Doesn't it look better? Usually the way I'll get it, if I find it cheap, my reason for a 9F, still don't have one. Yeah. There's many things I don't have because I will only buy them if they come up cheap. Bumpers are far too modern. They are, aren't they? To bring a little present for the shed next week. You will, yes. The shed will like a present. It'll be a pretty black present by the time it's done. Those crunches. But yeah, so whilst Thumpers are far too modern, were you not here earlier when I mentioned that this had a 153 running on it the other day? And 56. I mean, they were both blue, so that's a start. I move this for a second. Chuck the guttering down. And the old shed door. And the other old door. And look at that, it's all starting to come together. Miniature bottle of champagne for the shed's open. It needs it, doesn't it? Yeah. There you go, and the loco sat outside where it's in range of both the coal and the water. Well, hey. Well, I tend to run branch lines like most tank locos. Unless the preserve line 9F would be slightly too big. I try not to worry about slightly too big. Which is why I have this wonderful thing sat up here that is about to be plonked down on the layout. Because although it's not particularly big, it really is too big for this layout, isn't it? No, you're right. It's wonderful and should definitely always be on this layout. Not generally a huge fan of BR standards, but I do love a 9F. I mean, the 9F is clearly the best of the standards. I think I have one, I'm not sure. I might actually have two. But my modern stuff hasn't been seen for a long time and I can't remember what it is. About as big as the head shunt could take. Give or take, yes. The head shunt is rather full when you put that in it. I mean, you could get something slightly longer in there, but not by much. Level WD 210. Yeah, they're nice. I like those. 9F Benny Hill. 3 Benny. Extremely Benny from Lego Movies. Wonderful thing the O-Release it's fantastic. I get another 9F, I'll try and convert it into the planned Makaido. Do it. Definitely do it. It's even better in person. It is, isn't it? It's a fantastic loco in person. So I'll say of every terrier ever built and several that haven't been built yet. His armpits are improved engine green. All we know is he's called Gary Oak. I'm intrigued as to what other stock you have other than pre-grouping. A lot, honestly. If it fits, I sit. Exactly. But yeah, in all honesty, I have a lot of non-pre-grouping stock. I mean, even sat up here, I have a Probably not pre-grouping diesel. And also not pre-grouping diesel. And another not pre-grouping diesel. And the fact that these exist out here means they're things that are likely to get stuff done with them. And well, there go those carriages. This isn't very pre-grouping either. I have a lot of post-grouping stock stuff. I'm probably never going to sell mine off, but I might. Because I don't know if it'll last. Stock shunter got graffiti or paint rubbed off. So it's originally a yellow one that someone has painted black. And the black has started to come off. That is what that is. It needs a full restoration, that does. Coughs and sneezels spread diseases. Well, I was ill last week, so yeah, apparently so. Reminds me, I need to get a Ruston in the future. You do need to get a Ruston. They're fantastic. That's really... It is very, very modern image. Not only are they never built one of those. No, they didn't. Actually, did they? Was the first one not finished pre-nationalisation? W.P. Allen, to be precise. How many locomotives do you think you have then, Gary? So, in total, I have over 200 locomotives. Other than that, I can't be any more precise than that. Yeah, it's a lot. So, some people say I have a problem. I say I have a solution. More locos. Like Gary shows off his diesels, and Zero squeezes into head shunt, and we learn Gary has intimate knowledge of the LNER. Venezia coach to run pump water grey Q1 to upset the rivet counters. Do you have a problem? Not enough terriers. Exactly. I'm just trying to see if there's any more locos within. This one will really annoy people. But this one again, it's sat here. I was given this one the other day. This was a gift from one customer at work. Runs really well. Oh, you did have a chassis. Where's your chassis again? You're no good to show off if your chassis isn't here. There's your chassis. And the same customer gave me this. You can never have too many iPhones. How many do you have getting? I currently have 15 terriers. Currently. One day I will have more. Unfortunately, not today. You can't have too many of those. Oh, terrors. Orange 101 is apparently not bad scale wise. Is it not? So I was planning on seeing if I can fit it with some proper valve gear as a little challenge to myself. And renumbering it so that it's not number 709. But it'll probably never get used, to be fair. Yeah, I don't have an 800. I've got... Well, obviously, Tornado is my most modern thing. I've got two Class 33s. I've got two Class 31s. I've got an EM2. Lots of other things that I can't think of right now. I've got Canadian stuff. I've got at least one Japanese loco in N-gauge. Yeah. If the redeeming feature of 101 is the lamp, it's got two. So it's doubly redeemed. Oh, so all your terriers belong to us. No, they belong to me. Chap that did the proper Joy Year on our own web thinks that it was near enough to convert to a proper model. Excellent. Well, that should be fun. Can make it another South Park Quarry logo. I could, but I mean, the idea is South Park Quarry is going to have a lot of logos, so it can have variety. It's not, although it has, you know, the logos that are canonically South Park Quarry logos, like the Peckett and the Ruston. I want to be able to run just anything, really. Many years since that thread, of course, my memory might be off. I will have to look it up. Turn 101 into a crane tank. Now, the thing is, I do have another 101, so I could do that as well. But, you know, there's only so many things you can do, and at the moment I'm concentrating on LBSC stuff. Hydration, still important. Because, you know, since I've got the O class, at some point, I need to have its Brighton equivalent. As Adam's proven, plenty of vertical room for a crane. That's a good point, and I'm lacking in vertical room on the fiddle yard exit, as we discovered the other day when we put the 56 in the fiddle yard and ran it to come onto the layout, and it hit the top of the fiddle yard exit and stayed there. So, you know, that was interesting. So that won't run through the fiddle yard then. The 158, isn't it? Did. Oh, and for those that are interested in that sort of thing, the 158 was in Northern livery. Blue with some stars on it. I thought it looked quite nice. That's just me. But yeah, the point is, when it comes to I never sell anything. Except for that NSE 47 I had as a kid. That's sold. Deserved it. But yeah, so I used to, before I got Oak Hill, I modelled the late 50s. So I have lots of late 50s stock. Still southern region. Just my time period moved backwards a bit. For the better, obviously, because I've got things like this now. And it's just fantastic. The wagon's back in the siding. And take the O off and put it away. But yeah, important lessons. Regardless of how many logos you have, you can't have too many of these. Which again, this layout was designed for a terrier and a Peckett. So the fact it works with a terrier and a Peckett is great. Now, back to this lot over here. That's still slightly too sticky for me to weather, which is annoying. I wanted to do that. I was hoping that it'd dry quick enough that I could. Never mind. Oh geez, looking awfully yellow on your camera. It's funny that. It looks awfully yellow in real life as well. P-Class would look nice on there. A P-Class would look nice on here, you're quite right. And as we all know, P-Classes did run up the Oak Hill branch. So there is a chance that one at some point made its way down to South Park Quarry. In fact, the P-Classes that ran up to Oak Hill have all been preserved. It's amazing. So yeah, there's a very good chance one of them could have run down here, filling in for the aging Manning Wardle that usually did the job. I know it's designed for a terrier, but canonically it was a Manning Wardle. I designed it for the terrier because, well, the Manning Wardle's on an old Triang chassis, or was on an old Triang chassis at the time, and reliability wasn't its strong point. Not that amazing, half the class have been preserved. Okay, well, all the P-Classes that ran on the Oak Hill branch have been preserved at the same place. How's that? They're all still together all these years later. Even the two with the same running number. Yeah. So one day I will repaint my kit built one. Not least because it's the wrong type of P-Class for 27. Just to confuse people out there that don't know, yeah, there were two different types of P-Class. Go at roof for being sticky. Does it have the highest percentage of a class to be preserved? It's got to be up there, hasn't it? Yeah, even the Terriers didn't manage that, and there's a lot of those preserved. But it's still only 20%. Go back one. There we go. I don't think so. That'd be the APT. Oh, yeah, fair enough. What difference is the cab? There were two different types of cab. on the P classes. Primrose has a low cab. My kit built Primrose has a high cab, so is wrong. Drew Colossus is 100%. So, if we discount things that were a one-off, because are you really a class of something if there's only one of you? Is the P class the highest percentage of a class to be preserved? How's that? Does that question suit better? Look, we get to watch some more fun now because I've noticed something else that needs doing quickly. I told you all way back when we were ballasting that afterwards you have to go along and pick all the ballast off the top of the sleepers. And this is how you do it. Remember when I said I was going to get at least some of everything on camera? You can thank me later for not lying. Looks better already. I've got to do that with the rest of the layout. I'm not going to make you watch me do that with the rest of the layout. Good evening, Thomas. How are you? I hope you are well. The bot says hydration is important. I say my hydration vessel is empty, so I must refill it. Is Bluebell a high cab or a low cab? I honestly do not know. I'm pretty sure the Bluebell have both high cab and low cab, but I don't know which is which other than Primrose. Alright, cheers. How the hell are you and how the devil is everyone else? I am very well, thank you. It is so good to be back live streaming again. Hydration is important. Well, I think the different tank heights match the different cab heights. I think the ones with the high roofs had the higher tanks, I believe. So, with this not drying as quick as I'd like it to, and with most of the weathering on everything else done, see, not completely, not going to try and say we've finished everything else, but it all looks a lot better than it did before. Does anyone fancy having a shunt? Since we're here. Looks tremendous. I'm glad you think so. Where's my other? No, not you. Oh, well, if no one else volunteers, well then, looks like we're going to be having a shunt. Before we do, because as I say, I've spent lots of money on this recently. Look, we have a yard surface. It's all going to be cobbled. Right up to the rail edge. I am planning. I actually need some more. I've only got 2 packs of this. I definitely need more. So I'm thinking I'm going to inset cobbles on this track and then do cobbles in this space here. Because these are essentially the two loading tracks, and this is the track where they make up the trains. Do I then inset cobbles in this track as well? What do we think? And do I cobble the yard, or does the yard get ash everywhere? Or does it get a mix of both? These are the questions that I ask of the people of the live stream. Cobbles. Well, unfortunately, we only had 2 packs at work, so I don't have all the cobbles. And I didn't think of picking them up until after I had done my Pico order. So I don't have any cobbles coming on the Pico order. I've got stuff for Oak Hill coming in on my Pico order. But you'll notice we're getting quite far with this layout, as in there's not a lot else to do with it. And there's certainly not a lot else to buy. Which is nice. "3D print your own cobbles." Not for the price of a pack of wheels, I'm not. I mean, for 4 of these sheets, they're £4.15 at retail. Now, I don't pay retail price. So there is no need for me to print my own when I can get them that cheap. Right, we have a wagon order. And we're going to start with an open A. And then we're going to have a South Park Quarry wagon. And then an SECR van. And an SECR loco coal. I really need to get this updated to use a smart new system that I will be stealing from someone else. And the open D. And then I need to move the invisible ones so that they don't get mixed up. And then I can take the lot, move them up here, and I suppose I should probably, if we're doing this, turn the layout on. No, we don't want that loco. There we go. We have the right loco selected now. So, Linny, no one else volunteered. Yes, that is set right. That's okay then. I'd like, please, to pick up 2 wagons from the far siding. Okay. The Pecket's being a bit juddery. I don't know if the track's still a little bit dirty, or if in fact the Pecket's wheels are a bit dirty. It'd be grateful I didn't volunteer again. No! How dare you say such a thing, then collect one from the middle siding. I will do so as soon as the Pecket decides it's okay to start running again. I might have to swap it out for the Ruston. That one. Yeah, that's all set right. Oh no, that's what I get for not looking at what I'm doing, looking down at the controller instead. Deposit one wagon in the far siding. One wagon deposited. Deposit one wagon in the middle road. Definitely shouldn't be doing that. We had a short circuit there. Just reset everything. There we go. In fact, deposit two wagons in the middle road. Okay. Oh, collect two wagons from the near road. Okay. I might have to look at that point motor again because that feels like it's the switch not switching. Which is very possible. Deposit one in the middle road, put the barefoot one back in the near road. Okay. Yeah, that feels very much like the switch isn't switching under the layout. There we are. Now pick up 3 from the far road. Oh, we're shorting out again. Definitely shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, that was set the right way. I mean, I don't think I took this point motor off. But if I did, and I put it back the wrong way round, that would explain it shorting out. Put the Stevenson Clark wagon in the near road. Okay. Oh, right, yeah, I need to do that, don't I? Excuse me. It tells me we're still shorting out. Which we definitely shouldn't be. That's better. Hydration is important. That's not reverse. That's better. Totally isn't a Lily figuring out the next step. No, of course not. It's had too many Skittles and Smarties. It may well have done. That could be it. It's all right, Lenny. I'm sitting here looking at this, also figuring out the next steps. That's pity I can't assemble the outgoing train in Road 2. It is, isn't it? Although you'd then have to release this one from the end of Road 2. She drinks instead of water. Harder when you're in the hot seat, and it is. You're right. But Linny looks like Linny has a plan. Pop 2 wagons into the far road. That's a naughty open A. Two wagons are in the far road. See, I know what I'd do here, but I don't want to give it all away. I think I've worked it out. Pick up 3 from the middle road, drop off the eastbourne van into the middle siding. Okay. They're not hooked together. Let's hook them together before I accidentally ram the loco in at way too high a speed and can't do it. Or not, because I keep dropping the coupling because I'm at too high an angle, because I've put the blooming vice back and can't get my arm down low enough. Always think about your surroundings when working on these things. Yeah, it's causing confusion and delay. No, I'm not. Oh yeah, Shundersfile well known for being enough to drag a loco with. That they are. It's a well-known fact. Right, that's the Eastbourne wagon dropped off. Telling me no shunters used to go around dragging locos with their poles. It's only over the dead spots, obviously. Right, pick up the open A from the far road and drop it in the middle road. I think the back's out on my pecky. It doesn't seem to like the check rails on the slip. Either that or it's the slip, because that SEC our loco con came off as well. Please see where Lynn's going is the repeat of the SP wagon and the SER van. Let's have the road set properly before we do that. Well, that's just not very nice. The South Eastern and Chatham causing us issues here again with their loco coal wagon just tipping over, which is a new one. I don't think we ever had problems with that wagon before. Will not be super efficient, but it works. It's what working is what matters. I'll tell you what, he's giving that Peckett plenty of chance to leave those smoke marks all over the shed door, above the shed door. Yeah, I think the back-to-back might be out on the loco coal wagon. Next time I'll remember to assemble the front three wagons into one road. Well, you see, what I try and do with this when I'm shunting puzzling, ingle-nooking, that's what I wanted to say. I tend to start with, only concentrate on getting the one wagon in the back corner. And I ignore everything else to start with. Let's see if we short out again. We do. Okay, so no driving the loco over that point. Until I investigate again. Something from Ken causing mischief on this stream. Never. I know, right? Never. And look at me, I'm a Londoner. Just happy to get there in the end. Yeah, it doesn't matter how long your shunting puzzle takes. If anything, if it's longer, that means it's more fun. Seriously, every time. Jeans are not to pass this board. Exactly. Right then, Linny. I have reached the point where your instructions have run out. I mean, obviously the next move is obvious, but no. Now deposit the two wagons in the far siding. Yes. stop before reaching the engines must not pass this board. I think we all know where we're going from here, but I'm not in charge of the shunting. You shall not pass this board. I don't do a very good Gandalf, unfortunately. But yeah, we're clearly now at the point where Linny has it. What I want. Oh. This isn't code. This is real life. Move these to where I can actually couple up to them. Maybe you'll see if I've got semicolons. See, the semicolons are important. How else do I know the line has ended? Blame my teachers teaching me Python. I never learned Python at school. Leah's currently learning Python at school. But I never learned Python at school. Oh, nearly. All things done with this shunter's pole are completely realistic. Anyone that tells you otherwise is a dirty liar. Breakdown crane not found. Yes, there's no learning schools basically to get Python. I never learned any coding at school. I had to learn it all off my own back. I mean, admittedly, I started whilst at school, but none of it was actually at school. No, don't drop it. And yes, as Liddy says, remember to smash, gently tap, etc. the like button. Smash for Linny's completion of the shunting puzzle. Only the chess code I learned was code I was never actually going to use anywhere else in the course. That's the best type of code to learn. And there we go, we'll put the loco away. Smashed it, exactly. Linny did a fantastic job. But yeah, all my coding knowledge, I learnt myself in my own time. And I got really good at being able to pick up language, like computer languages. To a point that I applied for a job as a web developer because I fancied a change from being IT support. And I mean, I wasn't any good at web development at the time. I knew HTML and some basic JavaScript. But I blagged my way through the interview, and they said, "Okay, look, what we'll do a trial day. Come in on Friday. You can work the day on full pay, and we'll see how you get on." And so I went in on the Friday and started writing a website using things like CSS, which at the time I didn't know at all. By the lunchtime that they called me and said, "Look, we've been watching what you've been doing, looking at the site you've been making and stuff. You can go home now. You've got the job, you clearly know what you're doing well enough, and we'll see you back on Monday to start." And I was rather shocked. In that morning, I had put together pretty much an entire website for this company. And the website I put together that morning did end up just I finished it off on the Monday morning and it got put live. I had no idea what I was doing that morning, but I got the job. And by the time I left that job, I was writing some quite advanced web scripts, all picked up whilst being there. Good at spreadsheets. In fact, you could say I excel at them. Grown. Lots and lots and lots of grown. That is all. Right. I realise it's not entirely fair because I've cleaned the track a little bit. But let's put the rostrum on and see if it runs any better. Because we know the rostrum runs really well on this layout. Looks like the track might need a bit more polishing up. Yeah, it definitely wasn't the loco, was it? Good to know. Grown button has been removed due to overuse. You know that's genuinely why it got removed from RM Web. Because RM Web had a grown button, but it got used a lot and people were getting offended by it being used. Well, there we go. See, the layout can work. It just needed a clean, that's all. So that is what it's going to get. We've made it dirty and also cleaner. Closest thing to a dislike, you can see it being used a lot there. Yeah. So as I say, I have, you know, I assume you can hear, in fact I can see, you can see these flicking really nicely now, where they weren't before and took a couple of throws to get over. So they had got gunked up a bit, but also when I took them off, so the ones that were gunked up all came off the bottom of the layout. But they, even after cleaning, they still weren't quite firing properly and were really, really tight. And so I ended up having to oil the shaft that runs across on the point motors. Since doing that, they fire brilliantly. Rather annoying that it needed it. But there we go. Move without being touched. Witchcraft. Burn him. Well, so that's something else that we need to do scenic-wise that I haven't done yet. The layout either needs levers next to each set of points, or it needs a lever frame somewhere. The question is which. No, not witchcraft, just which one of those things. Because I'm not sure either way, to be honest. I think levers next to all the points is my preference. I mean, a lever frame would require running point rodding, and I don't see this being the sort of place that did that. I see this much more as a levers next to the points operated by the fireman. Probably next to the points operated by the shunter. Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Fireman jumps down off the loco, changes the points, climbs back on as the loco goes past him. Who would want to have to run back to the ground frame every time they coupled uncoupled wagons? Exactly. That was my thoughts. I'm glad you agree. Don't need to burn him, just give him soldering irons himself. It's true, I will. I mean, the thing is, they might throw on their own, but they're not that on their own. And there is that reminder to smash that like button, because you should do that. Everyone likes a smashed like button. That's the best type of like button. As for right now, it's 2 minutes to midnight now. We have some buildings looking much better than they did before. I hope you all agree. I'm most happy with this one at the moment. Very simple, but it works so well. They obviously all still need a little bit more doing. They're not there yet. But, you know, I think we're going the right direction here now. So got to get some more cobbles for the yard, because 2 packs really isn't enough. And it's slowly coming together. Oh, and we need to do an interior on the shed at some point as well. We've got some building up of the land at the back to do. This is going to be built up a bit. We've got most of the stuff ready to do it all now, though. So it won't be a huge amount of time until this layout is actually finished, which is a bit of a scary thought, really. But also quite a cool one. Let's turn our wagon cards off. There we go. Now you can see even better, he says, because they were blocking everything so much. So yeah, next week we will be playing shunting with Linny in person. Linny will get some practice in before then, I'm sure. But yes, as for tonight, it is midnight. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. I've had a great time. I hope you have too. And I look forward to seeing you all next weekend at the Uckfield show. I will be there both days. If you are going, do find a club member and ask for me. And do not worry about asking me if I know where I am. You would not be the first person to come to me and ask for Gary. You'll watch Linny fail with 3-link couplings. Nah, you'll be fine. So yeah, thank you all for coming, everyone. I look forward to seeing you again next week, when I will be completely shattered from a weekend at the show. Right, oh, good night, Paderborn. It's been grand. Thank you, Thomas. I'd go, but got plans for the weekend afterwards. No excuses. I want you there. It's pumpkin time is indeed. Thanks for streaming, Gary. Good night. Thank you, Linny. So yes, thank you for coming, everyone. It's been wonderful. I've been Gary. This has been Let's Build, and you've been awesome as always. Good night.